Well, everything I make ain't that great, but you guys rule with a house and a pool, with a house and a pool, with a house and a pool.
I've chosen, count them, 1, 2, 5 of your design projects. Most of them are logos. It's just the easiest to do. Oh, I'm sorry, don't be mad. I'm lazy. I'm a lazy boy. And I just want to thank everybody who sends in a project. You all are so awesome and amazing, and I'm sorry if I don't get to your project. Let's get started. Lego my ego. The first one comes from possibly Gyan Thapa, and this is a personal logo. By the way, I'm going to butcher like all 5 names, so get used to it. All right, Gyan. I prefer the one on the right, so what I'm going to do is just erase everything else. All right, so what I think is this circle, it doesn't need to be here. It doesn't necessarily help, and then it makes your triangle shape feel like it's in prison. So we have to free the triangle. I'm going to take the liberty of changing your text. We need something a little bit thicker and more dramatic. This is Century Gothic, bold and italic. Gyanga. So basically, you just have some detail issues, my friend. For example, this is not a straight line. This corner here is, and then this part here is not the same width as this part here, which means that this angle of this line is not the same angle as that line. Ooh, yeah. There, like that. And we can put it out like there or something. Oh, we don't want to go all the way to the top, right? We want to go like there or something. So we could erase it about there. There you are, my sir. Now we've straightened that out, but I will point out one other issue. You have the your width of the line on the rights are thicker than your line on the left, and the lines that go left and right. And now we've added some more personality with more interesting text, and I think the lowercase really helps a lot. I actually enjoy the lowercase. I'm gonna put it on a very light gray background. No, that's not light gray at all. Color overlay your text. Maybe something like, no, not that much. Something like this, probably. Yup. I dig it. I can dig it, my son. All right, Gyan, so that is what I would do to your logo. I would just make sure that your lines all align, get rid of the circle, add a little oomph to the text. Slanting it makes it a little bit more interesting. Keeping it lowercase makes it a little bit more interesting. Okay, I hope that change helps, and I appreciate the fact that you made a bunch of different options. I would just encourage you to not feel like you have to contain them. So you have a circle around this one, a square around the middle one, a circle around those ones. Like the first thing I would do for all of those logos is just get rid of those little containment boxes because we don't need them, right? We're open, we're free spirits, ready to roam the fields of graphic design like a stallion. Okay, yeah, and then just encourage you to make sure all your lines are the same width and then all your angles line up as well. All right, I hope you appreciate that redesign, and thank you so much for sending in your projects. Everyone, clap for Gyan. Yes. All right, good job. Let's move on to the next one. This comes from Eric Naumann. Possibly Naumann. Probably Naumann. So I have the original on the left, and I'll make the changes to the one on the right side. And basically, I love the colors inside the badge, and the outside color, the brown, is good because it's brown, right? But the problem is our shades, our levels are too similar between how dark the background is and how dark the badge is. And then the shadow actually doesn't help. So what we shall do is select everything inside of here. And now we're going to fill in the background with this brown, and then we can get rid of the shadow. So I think one of the reasons why you wanted the shadow was to make it stand out from the background a little bit more. But the best way to do that is not actually with the shadow. It's just to increase the contrast between the badge and the background. Okay, that'll be fine. Now I'm actually just going to shrink the whole size of this thing because it takes up too much space in our image here. Okay, now, let's talk about the actual badge itself. like, I like this area. This is cool, but we have little spaces like between this tree where you see the sun behind it, or maybe it's the moon, and over here and over here and over here. What you generally want to do is avoid these things, because if we look at your badge from like back here, we can just see like little spaces of color, and they're a little bit distracting. I hope that makes sense. So what I would do if I had your vector file is just move the darker trees, move it to the right a little bit, move it to the left a little bit, so they go behind there. And then what I might do, or try to do, attempt to do, I want to make your established 2017 smaller. We're going to make it a smaller board, because right now if I zoom out, the things that call my attention actually more than your vector illustration here is the establishment date. So what I would like to do is create a little bit of a hierarchy here where we take your established date, right? So I would zoom in. Okay, now, if you don't believe me that this background is better than this background, there's one way that I could try to show you maybe why I think it's better. We can see that the difference between the background and the badge in here is it's not that much. It's not a big difference. And then the shadow makes the difference even less contrasty. Over here, we have a much better contrast between the background color and this thing. So if somebody's scrolling through projects, for example, on Instagram, where they're looking through your portfolio, going left through, this one's going to stand out in their mind and in their eye a little bit more than this one. And thank you so much for sending it in. And I forgot to mention that I really love the layout. I love the layout. And the whole badge shape on the bottom, especially, I enjoy. I like the curved text over here. I like that the mountain is kind of separated from the badge itself. I think you could work a little bit more with the illustration in terms of maybe a few more details in the trees to make them not as simplistic and flat. But that being said, I really like how the size of the opening for the image here. It's really good. And then the contrast between the thickness of berries and the skinniness of campground. Very well done. Yes, everyone clap for Eric. Good job, man. Keep it up. Next up is Nadežda. I'm so sorry. I'm going to destroy all the names. I'm so sorry. Okay, so this is a logo designed for, I guess, like an association of journalists. Has something to do with media. So it's very interesting. Out of these two, I actually prefer the one on the left. It's kind of cool. The only problem I see is just how skinny these lines get. So like if I zoom out or something, I kind of see the line, but then I don't see the line that much. But I actually prefer it. So I'm actually going to choose this one to make some changes to. Okay, I might just go ahead and like get rid of everything outside of your main background shape. What I would actually do is this kind of kills the idea of your logo. But your line here is again too skinny, and then the circles here, like if I get rid of the line, these two circles will just be like out in the atmosphere, and they won't be contained with anything. It won't be a logical reason why they're there. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna get rid of everything on this side, and I know I'm taking a lot of liberty with the logo, so whatever. Fire me. Okay. This is just simplified and cleaned up a little bit. I personally am liking it more. Maybe you and other people hate it. But what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to select the right side of this, and we're going to add a little bit more interest in a way that doesn't overcomplicate it. So I'm going to take the right side of this, and I'm going to add a color, not that color. Maybe some lighter blue. But it has to equal the kind of the saturation of it. Maybe something like that could be cool. I don't know. I'd play around with colors. I really like the logo on the left. If there's something you can do with the skinniness of the lines, I would encourage you to try that. And then I've just tried to give maybe one option for the logo on the right that might simplify, but then also add an interesting element with another color. Okay, but very good logos, and I think you said it was some sort of competition. So best of luck Good luck. Yay. Okay, everybody. Yeah. Good job. And thank you so much for sending this in. Next up, we have Kassandra Donia. It's a rhyming name, kind of. All right. I like the idea of the smiley face below. And I actually kind of like it's a slanted smiley face. That's cool. So the first thing I would do is I just feel like it's taking up too much space, left to right wise. You know, there's a lot of space between all the letters. So what I want to do is I'm gonna take your logo in a little bit of a different direction. I mean, it'll be the same direction, but it'll be different. So I'm gonna put it all together a little bit more, and I think the best way for me to do that is by making the L's just straight up. You know what I mean? Just straight up lines. Like this. I'm gonna take out section from the eyes. Oh, a boom. And I'm actually gonna take your smiley face and I'm gonna put it below the word me. And I might make it straight. I said before that I like the more interesting smile, but I think in terms of just driving the idea home, it might be best to just have a regular smile. Okay, now the final step for me will probably be the biggest, and I hope will bring everything together. Sometimes we like to curve. We like to get a font. We like to write a font and then like curve corners and edges. And recently I've become very against this because it's like a way for us to own the type and make it a little bit more custom and for us. But I think just like corners are a little bit stronger. So I don't know. Let's try it, shall we? So Kassandra, this is definitely open to disagreement for sure. I'm just going to make an argument for why I made these changes. And it's just to kind of condense it some so that we can use it in more situations. I prefer the sharp edge font typography because it just makes it stronger. You know, it makes the edges more refined. So if we zoom out or something, it's just a little bit of a stronger logo. But this is all my opinions. And also I could make an argument against my logo change because all the letters are capital, but the eyes are not capital. But for me, it makes a little bit more of a visual interest when you split some of these letters in half. Yeah, so that's my thought process with that. Feel free to disagree, but I really love the idea of the smiley face and everything. So good job, Kassandra. Thank you so much for sending this in. Everyone, more claps. Good job. Now, this one comes from Cameron. And he says him and a friend are building a website that will help students vote for and I guess judge student projects. But what I can see from it is that it's a P and a W, which would make sense for Project Wall. Okay, right now our logo is too cramped and our lines aren't thick enough. They're converging at strange angles and strange places. That's the best way I can say it. What I want is like however much space is here, I want to increase so that there's the same amount of space over here. Whoa, why would you do that, Illustrator? Okay, and now this whole ordeal all the way down here. Well, that'll be something. So that we can get rid of everything out there and just have a more straight line. Like all of these lines. I'm going to cut them off. I'm going to cut them all off at the same place. So now, oh, that's good. Everything feels much more like aligned. So let's give it an outside stroke here, and let's just keep going until we feel the boogie of the night. All right, Cameron, that is the changes I would make to this particular logo. I hope that helps some. I think this one was improved with the changes, but feel free to disagree. Basically, we just needed to simplify, align, and then increase thickness. I wish you the best of luck with the website. I'm sure it will be very cool. And if you'd like to use this logo for your website, no problem. You can just wire transfer me 8 million euros. And then we'll be squared away. We'll be good to go. No, okay, good job, Cameron. Everybody, round of applause. All right, design champions, those were the 5 design changes that I would make to all of these logos. Now, let me know in the comments below if I butchered them or if I butchered them. And if there's one that you disagree with and you think I made it worse, please leave a comment below and say, oh yeah, this is why I think that. And if there's some nuances that you appreciated, also leave that kind of comment below. Say, oh, I really like the changes you made on this one because anyways, that would help me and also anyone else who reads the comments. Okay, thank you guys so much for being here. I hope you enjoyed this episode of You Guys Rule, and I will see you later, alligator, and stay awesome, opossums. And don't forget, you can send in your projects to zimridesigner@gmail.com. Okay, see you guys later. Bye-bye.